And we are back on the Big Four and More podcast. It's the story that everyone has been talking about since July 4th. It's Kevin Durant. It's the K decision, and which is the hashtag. But he goes to Golden State, and he leaves the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he decides he wants that ring, and he goes to the Warriors to join and form a super team, which was already a super team.
Yeah.
And now they're a super team.
They're a big four.
They're a big four plus Andre Iguodala. And I have, obviously, as you guys will see, differing views on this than a lot of people. And a lot of people support it, and a lot of people are against it. Now, before we get into this, we should put like a little disclaimer. And it's like, I'm going to argue my point of the story or point of the decision, and Liam will argue his. And really, we're both going to argue why we're right. But essentially, it comes down to whether you're a fan of the Warriors and you're a fan of Kevin Durant, or you don't like the Warriors, or if you're like...
This is transcendent, though, of the Warriors.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects to the signing for the league, for sports in general. Like, this is monumentous.
Like, for me, obviously, I was cheering for the Cavs. So, obviously, this, like, in the finals. So, obviously, this, I have a certain side on this because...
But let's just look at this throughout without...
Because both of us are going to be biased.
Without homer glasses. Let's just look at this from a casual fan's perspective.
And then we'll get into our homer glasses.
Okay.
So from a casual perspective, he signs a 2-year deal. What was it, $54 million?
It was, with a player option for year two.
For year two.
Yeah.
And I doubt he'll not take the option for year two.
He'll definitely take the option.
Yeah, he'll definitely take the option. So
let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about his legacy. He's leaving Oklahoma City. He's abandoning...
Oh, so now we're going to take the homer sides.
We're not.
We're not going to take the homer.
I'm not a homer. I was cheering for Golden State in the finals, but I'm just a fan of basketball.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of things to say about his legacy.
So, let's open with his legacy. We don't have to make this anecdotal. Let's go back and forth. But
okay.
So he leaves Oklahoma City. He leaves Russ Westbrook. He joins a team that had the best record in the history of the NBA. They were 1 win away from back-to-back titles. And more importantly, they were the team the Thunder almost beat in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
It's a classic, you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. And now, obviously, basketball, I think, in terms of sports, obviously the big four sports, is the most dependent on titles and rings. How many rings you got? Jordan has 6. You don't have 6. You're not as good as Jordan. All right? And Kevin Durant, obviously, played for a long time in Oklahoma City and got none. And he's been to the finals once, and he lost to LeBron. And I understand why he would leave Oklahoma City, because he's couldn't get it done there. He's probably frustrated of not winning there. And you could see at the end of that Game 7 against the Warriors, when Steph hit that 3 that made it like a 6-point game or something like that, you could just see like Durant just kind of just like was done. He was done, and
he was just emotionally spent.
Yeah, he was emotionally spent, and so he wants to go get that title. But now, obviously, you look at a player's legacy and you see how many rings they have, and the question will be like, do you look at the quality of their championship, or do you look at just the championships? Like with LeBron, he won it with the big 3. Does that hamper his legacy a bit? No? Why is that?
I don't think so. I think people going into this decision, people said that, but looking back on that era as it has finished now, I don't think
they weren't even the best team.
The big 3 weren't?
They struggled so much.
Exactly. So that's why I don't think if they win a championship, this Golden State Warriors team, it will be hampered, because people are saying the same exact things now that they were saying with the LeBron decision. People are going to calm down and they're going to forget about it.
But I think it's a little different because, like, yes, he did. LeBron did form this super team with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And he joins a Heat team that was not very good at the beginning, or like was not very good before LeBron joined. They were an 8 seed before LeBron joined. But like the situation with OKC is just so different to that, because like he's going to a team where they know it works and they're so dominant and they have the best record in NBA history. Obviously they couldn't get that title, and he's just like latching on to that success to get his titles. And my question is like, just like, and you, I guess you answered it, whether or not, let's say KD goes on and wins 2 titles there through those 2 years. Okay. Let's just say he wins that. And then let's just say he leaves and does like a LeBron type thing and goes back to Oklahoma City or something like that. Do we look at those titles as he won 2 titles, or do we look at it like he won 2 titles with that, like with that team, like he only won it because he was on that team? I feel like near the beginning it'll kind of be like, well, he only won it because he was on that team. But then like obviously as time goes by, like you said, we kind of forget about it, and he will just be known for having those rings. But I was gonna say something. I can't.
I'll just jump in.
Yeah, just jump in.
Yeah, I think he has really unprecedented pressure that no one in the history of basketball has faced, like in the aftermath of this decision. Because like you said, even though they lost that Game 7, they lost this past year's finals, they had this crazy record. They already won a championship. They're a proven team where everything works. All these players fit together, and they're dominant, and they're great, and everything works. And now everyone's looking at Kevin Durant joining this team, and it's kind of like, don't screw it up. You know, you're this great player, but how are you going to fit in on this team that already fits so well together? And I just think, in terms of his legacy, it's going to be hard to tell if it's not a given they're going to win these championships. We'll see how
it's true. It's not a given.
We'll see how they fit together. If they fit well together, say they go the finals this year, Durant hits a couple big shots, or like several big shots, and they win the finals, I think that'll be different.
Like, what if they go to the finals and Curry carries that team, and Kevin Durant is like a secondary person, like he does not have a good finals whatsoever. He's like the Kevin Love of the Cavs. What happens if he wins a title then? Is his legacy like he just latched on to this team?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
He needs to perform.
He needs to perform, yeah. I don't think he's worried about legacy with this decision. Obviously, everyone and their cat is worried about this decision other than Kevin Durant. But I was just listening to his opening presser yesterday, and he was talking about his decision to go there and his meeting with the Warriors leading up to this decision. And he met with Draymond and Clay and Steph and Andre, I guess, and just the stars of this team. And they were kind of pitching the fact that none of them care like what their role is on this team. None of them care whether they make all-star games or whether they get this fame. They just want championships. Steph doesn't care if he has to take 10 less shots a game to get Kevin there and to get Kevin taking those shots instead of him for the Warriors. They just built in, it's all about championships. They don't care about their reputation. It's all about the team.
And like I
think he really buys into that.
I saw a statistic, and it was like the Warriors led the league in like setting up buckets or like shots with like screens and stuff like that, and they were like so far ahead of every other team. I think Raptors were number 2, but they were like a solid percentage ahead of the Raptors. And like that is the kind of game Kevin Durant plays. He is good off screens, gets the ball, takes his shots, or he can drive from there. And so like I understand from like why Kevin Durant might have chose to go in there, because he fits their system perfectly. And now it's challenging the rest of the league to try to adapt to it, like try to figure out how they're going to stop it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to stop it. But for me, it's so like for Oklahoma City, it's just like he had that team beat, and I understand why maybe he was just he gave it that run, and now maybe he's done. But like, he was so close to beating that team, and then I understand why maybe he wouldn't want to take the risk to stay there and maybe never win a championship. Whereas in Golden State, obviously they're the favorites, but nothing's certain. But like, he probably will win a championship there. But like, I think a title in Oklahoma City and him being the savior of that team, him being Oklahoma City is relevant because of him. They don't have any other sports, like other professional team.
Oh yeah.
If he won a title there, if he was able to get it done this year or the year they played the Heat, I think that would mean a lot more to his legacy than would be him winning in Golden State, because he's not even going to be the top guy in, like.
He might be.
It's not going to be Kevin Durant's team. It's still Steph's team.
Right.
No matter what.
But for now, think of the Heat. It was Dwayne Wade's team.
Yeah.
It became LeBron's team.
But I think it's because, like, everyone, though, knows that LeBron is a better player than Dwayne. But, like, right now, I would say Steph's a better player than Kevin Durant. Maybe not all time.
Right.
Probably Kevin Durant's a better player.
But just right
all
now.
time. But right now, I think Steph's probably the best player. Probably the best player in the world right now.
Not named LeBron James.
Not named LeBron James.
Right.
Well, like, LeBron's, like, obviously got... But, like, up until the finals, I would say Steph is the best player in the world. But then LeBron kind of showed up Steph in that finals. But, like, I think Steph is better right now than Kevin Durant, so it'll still be Steph Curry's team, unless the only way that changes is if Kevin Durant starts to actually, like, takes the team over.
Right.
And that's the only way I see it changing. So it's kind of just like, I think it's a little questionable how he would go to Golden State when you're a top 3 player in this league and you're going and you're not even the best player on that team. It's kind of questionable. It's like, you can be the superstar on any team. You can make any team a contender. Even if you go to San Antonio, like, that wouldn't be as questionable because you beat San Antonio. But you go to the team that you lost to, it's like, it almost seems like they're trying anything they can do to make sure they get past LeBron. Like, it's like they're building.
Isn't that what they should be doing?
Yeah, I understand that. But it's like, I just don't understand why you would purposely make yourself the number 2 when you're one of the top stars in the world, when you should be the leader of a team.
Right.
And it's just like, obviously they're saying that everything will, like, work out or whatever, but like, doesn't want to get into their heads a little bit. Like, I'm sure statistics get in these guys' heads. I'm sure, like, for top stars, yeah, it's all about winning, but I'm sure, like, they care about stats too.
Of
like,
course, everyone has an ego.
Yeah, I'm like,
some size.
I'm sure during this year when Steph was putting up these crazy numbers, yeah, they were on that winning streak or whatever, but I'm sure he was thinking about, like, how many threes am I hitting?
Of course, yeah.
It's all like, you don't want to go down as being a great role player. You want to go down as being a great star. So unless they can find a way for Steph and Kevin Durant to be a star, then I don't. They'll get it done, obviously, but I just think it's so questionable. And obviously, he's received a lot of flack from guys like Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley shouldn't talk because he sold out.
He did too, yeah.
But like Reggie Miller, but these are guys who, like,
Jordan's been saying it.
Yeah.
Magic's been saying it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just very questionable, and all I can say is I don't think it was the right move, and it will only be the right move in my opinion, it will only be the right move for him to do if they win the title.
If he wins Finals MVP.
And he is the guy.
Yeah. Can I just give a little mini rant here?
Go ahead. I did a mini rant. You go ahead.
This thought's been ringing around my head for a couple minutes here. I just think this decision boiled down for him. Only one thing was in his mind, and that was winning a championship in 2017. It was winning this next championship. He didn't care about the legacy. He didn't care about building something for the future. He cared about winning this next championship. Because you said, I thought about this too, about how he was so close, and it seemed like him and Russ and Steven Adams, and they brought in Oladipo, that like they were finally building this team that like actually could get it done, not just on paper. Like they actually played well together. They almost beat the Warriors. They could actually do this. but he was just so emotionally spent. He's just so sick of getting to the Western Conference Finals and losing to the better team. And I just think he's worried about winning a championship this year because a lot of people said this too, how he could go back to Oklahoma City, sign the same type of deal he signed with Golden State, just 2 years, opt out after year one. But this is the only season he could have joined the Warriors. Harrison Barnes was a free agent. They were either signing Durant or Barnes, one of the two. He doesn't go, they signed Barnes. So he had to go this year. And I think he was just, I have to win this 2017 championship. And the Warriors are in the same mentality, and it just seems like a perfect fit for both parties.
I just think it's just like him. It's not cheating because like cheating, you can't cheat in basketball. It's just like it's like a cheap way how to get a title. It's just like, it's not like, I don't want to say they're not earning it because obviously they still have to go out there and win it, but it's like, I don't know, because even if he does win his title and then he wants to go back to Oklahoma City, Russell Westbrook's going to be long gone.
Yeah.
He's going to be traded probably before the trade deadline. So it's not going to be like a LeBron type situation where he's going to come back and you're going to have these like young pieces or whatever.
Right.
It's just, I just think it was like, maybe it was, I think it might have just been too early in his career to maybe latch on to a top team
to sell out, I guess. That's how most people are viewing it.
Yeah,
to sell out.
Yeah, maybe it's too early. Maybe you can do that near the end of the career. Maybe try to get it done at least one more year in Oklahoma City, or if not Oklahoma City, like another team that's close to contending, not like the top dog. Like how old is he? He's like 24, right?
He's like 28.
Oh, he's like 28.
He spent 8 seasons in
That's
Oklahoma
true.
City. He's not a young man. He's been grinding there for a long time trying to get
He
it
could
done.
still play till he's like 35, 36.
Right.
So like, you got that team in Oklahoma City now that can win now. Why not try now? And then if it doesn't work out now, you just find the team that's the contender at the time later on when you're like 31, 32, and then do it. Like, I just feel like he's just leaving Oklahoma City out to dry, and now they've got absolutely nothing.
He's given everything to that team for
I
how
know.
many years? It's just, you can say one more year, they're almost there. People have said they've been almost there for like 5 years now.
I know, but this time they actually showed it.
They clearly can't get it done. This team's not going to work. They're like the third best, even though they beat the Spurs in the playoffs. They're probably the third best team in the Western Conference. He's not thinking, oh, we were that close. He was thinking, we couldn't do it again. We couldn't do it for the 5th or 6th year in a row.
Yeah,
I
just think what makes this different than any other signing in NBA history. Yeah, LeBron went through like the decision, and KD did it way more respectful way. It's just the team that he's going to. Like, it's just, no matter how you look at it, it's just if he signs with any other team, I'm sure he doesn't get as much flack. It's just the team that he's going to, and it's just the decision he's got to live with. And if it's just for him just winning a championship and that's all he wants to do, and he's not concerned about his legacy, then that's good on him. But for the media just thrives on legacy. In basketball, that's all it's about, is just legacy. And will it tarnish his legacy? We don't know. Right now, it might. Like, right now, he's probably not. He's not as liked as he once was. He used to be like the poster child of the NBA, the most liked guy. And now fans who are just casual fans are starting to turn on him because he's making a super team, and that's.
Yeah, the whole league's done like a complete 180 in the last week.
Yeah.
You think about LeBron, the whole decision, him in Miami, and he was public enemy number 1, and Durant was the good guy. He was the guy who stayed in Oklahoma City.
He was the guy who wanted to beat those teams.
He's been grinding to beat those teams that have formed super teams, and he's been grinding to show loyalty to the Thunder. And now LeBron's come home. He's won a championship for Cleveland, and suddenly Durant skipped town. Like, it's completely contrasting how it's been for several years.
It's kind of like a soap opera.
It really is. Yeah.
It is a soap opera, and just like, it's just a matter of whether you like Kevin Durant or not, and if you're not a huge Kevin Durant supporter, like I'm not a huge Kevin Durant supporter. I was just neutral on him, and now I just don't didn't think it was a good move for him, for his reputation, but he does what he wants. Essentially, it's up to him.
Right. Let's bullshit and everything aside, what everyone's saying about this team. What are the real grounded expectations for this Thunder team?
They win a championship. Like, that's the expectation.
But your expectation, not their expectation. What do you think their 2017 season is? How do you think they play together?
I think they fit in very well. Like I said, Kevin Durant fits in that kind of style offense, and if what you said is true about like Steph and the rest of the players willing to take less shots, then I think it'll work perfectly. And I think that they are the favorites. They were the favorites last year, and LeBron single-handedly took that title from them. And the Warriors, like, you can't take a 73-9 team and then in the offseason say they got better. Like, you just don't think that. And then they actually got better.
Yeah.
So it's literally championship or bust. If they don't win the championship, it's a failure. Like,
so you think they do win the championship?
Oh yeah, I do think they win the championship, but like, if they don't win the championship, then like, I think Kevin Durant's legacy is very hurt.
Right.
Unless he goes to a smaller market and wins it and then kind of repairs it. But like,
I know, like, these are two different teams, like talking about, you know, the 2010 Miami Heat and this 2016 Golden State Warriors. I know they're different teams. I know Golden State probably has the best starting five in NBA history. I know they're better than probably the 2010 Heat, but the 2010 Heat didn't win their championship their first year. They ran into a team that had been playing together for years and had the chemistry, right?
In the Mavs?
In the Mavs,
yeah. And it was also, but that year with the Heat, they struggled so much in their, I believe, didn't they start off like 19-20 or something like that?
Right. But what's to say that won't happen with this team?
That's true. They need time to gel.
Right.
So if they don't win the title this year, maybe it's just the thing is with that, like, LeBron got a lot of flack for not winning that first title, and then he won the title the next year. But like, with this team, I think it's different because they're
already there.
They're already there. Like, the Heat weren't there; they had to get there.
Right.
And obviously, they had the team, and they had to figure it out. And so will the Warriors. But like, the Warriors can win a title even with Kevin Durant playing really bad.
Like, they should have won that Cleveland series as well, the one that just wrapped up.
Like even if Kevin Durant is a no-show, like, they should win.
They could still win the title.
They should win nevertheless. Even if Kevin Durant doesn't fit in that system, they should still win it. Yeah. So if Kevin Durant fits in there well, they need to win it. If they lose to LeBron again, then it's just like.
But like, the 29 other teams must just be having nightmares right now, because I just think of the 2016 finals and seeing Harrison Barnes out there at the small forward position, him missing open three after open three after open three, and the Warriors still almost winning the series. Kevin Durant is gonna nail those.
Yeah,
he's not gonna miss these open threes. Like, they could go undefeated next playoffs. Like, I think the ceiling is, you can't mark the ceiling.
And if I'm LeBron, I am so thankful I got my championship in Cleveland before this happened. This happened, because if you didn't win it last year,
they would be feeling the pressure. The Warriors wouldn't be feeling the pressure.
I think both teams would.
I think LeBron would.
LeBron would definitely be feeling most of the pressure, but there'd still be pressure on the Warriors. Like, can they get this done? But now that LeBron's won his title, there's not as much pressure on the Cavs. It's just now we're just thinking, what can the Cavs do to beat this team? Because we know it's going to be Cavs Warriors. There's pretty much no doubt in anyone's mind it's going to be Cavs Warriors. Yeah. Now it's just the pressure's solely on the Warriors. Like, everyone, even though the Cavs are the defending champions, no one's saying the Cavs are going to win that series.
It's just this is obviously, we've been comparing this to the LeBron James decision this entire video, but that's really the only mark, because you got to compare it to something to try to predict how it's going to play out. We won't know until years down the road, because obviously expectations and opinions on that Heat team have changed over the years. But I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. And just one last point before we wrap this up, I just want to bounce this off you. Do you think there's a chance that Durant has been talking to Russell Westbrook, and Westbrook has already told him that he's gone, that he plans to leave.
I don't know if that happened.
Because Russell Westbrook, I don't know if this means anything. He was not at the meeting. He was not at the Thunder meeting to try to get KD back.
Well, I mean, I know they've had discussions, and Westbrook was upset about it. And that maybe even if Westbrook was leaving, maybe Durant would just stay one more year with Westbrook. But then maybe he knew that if Westbrook was going to leave, they were probably going to deal Westbrook. So he didn't want to take that team on by himself. So no matter what now, Sam Presti has to deal Westbrook. He has to.
Yes, Westbrook's not sticking around.
Yeah, he has to get whatever he can for Westbrook, and he has to get the best that he can for Westbrook. Yeah, I think they probably had discussions, but maybe that led to the decision. And you know what? That's a good point. Maybe Kevin Durant was just like, if Westbrook's leaving, I'm not going to win the title there.
Right.
I'll win the title in Golden State.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I know there was also another story, just two more things. There was another story about how Thunder teammates were upset with Kevin Durant because he was very close with Draymond Green after Game 7. They were talking, and Thunder players were upset about that.
Yeah.
So, and then one last thing. For LeBron, obviously LeBron wants to win titles or whatever, but for LeBron, he's got to be licking his chops right now. Not saying that this is a good thing for him, but now he's saying, if I can beat this team, I go down as probably the second best player ever.
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah.
And
maybe the greatest.
Maybe. If he can beat,
that's title number 4 against maybe the two best teams in NBA history. It's the same team.
Let's just assume he wins let's say LeBron somehow wins the next 2 titles against the Warriors. He could probably go down as the greatest because of the. So yes, he at the same time LeBron's just like, I gotta face this team, but now he's gonna be like, if I can beat this team, my legacy goes.
It's a great opportunity.
It goes. Yeah. He can be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And so for him, it's good and bad.
Right. I mean,
mostly bad.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of what we've been talking about is just speculation about how we think this is going to play out and how we think, different factors played into this decision. But at the end of the day, one thing's clear. Durant wants a championship. He wanted the Warriors. This is what he thought was his best chance to get both join the Warriors and get a championship. And he's going to be wearing blue and yellow next fall.
And just one last thing, though, it's just like now trying to defend this team, and just you got to worry about Steph, you got to worry about Clay, you got to worry about Kevin Durant now, and then you got to worry about Draymond. Draymond can hit from 3 too. It's just like it's just gonna be so much to deal with. Does this hurt Klay Thompson at all in terms of his statistics? He's probably gonna be getting less shots. He will be getting less shots.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think marginally. I don't think a lot.
No,
I don't think so.
Will it hurt any of them? It's gotta hurt all of them. All of their.
Oh yeah, all the shots are going down because obviously Kevin Durant's gonna take more shots than Harrison Barnes took.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think so. I don't think really. Draymond didn't put up great numbers. He was a kind of a player that everyone knows is great, but didn't put up the numbers to show it. Clay put up decent numbers. Steph put up great numbers, but this team it's not gonna matter about numbers. It's literally gonna be rings, and that's it.
Yeah, you don't think they're gonna get frustrated if someone's not getting their shots? Because if Steph's not
I think Clay is the only guy that could mess this up.
Yeah,
I think Steph. Maybe it's an act, it's a routine. I buy into his whole good guy act, his whole team player act. It seems genuine. I don't think he cares. I think he's gonna get his shots regardless. He's gonna have no problem with KD out there. Draymond definitely doesn't care about shots. He takes what's given to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clay is the only possibility to screw this team up.
True. Okay. Well, that discussion wasn't as heated as I thought it would be. It was kind of
a little reserved.
Yeah.
Playing nice.
Which is good. But ultimately it just comes down to what we're gonna have to see, and I'm sure once the finals rolls around, things will heat up. And I'm sure we'll take opposing sides again.
as a sports fan, I know you're not in agreement of it, but you have to admit you can't wait to see them trot out that lineup for that first game. You can't wait to see how they perform together. Come on, that's like a team. They could trot out that lineup just as Team USA. Team USA could select the entire Golden State Warriors, and it would be probably as good as the one they just selected.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of more interested. It's gonna sound weird to see like the Knicks go out there, just to see the Knicks because the Warriors, yeah, they'll have Kevin Durant. That'll be interesting, but just seeing the Knicks relevant again will just.
Oh my God, Rose and Noah, come on.
I know, but it just makes it.
This Warriors team, nothing in the history of probably sports has happened like this.
I know, but it'll just make me more nervous than it will exciting.
I guess so, yeah. I guess Derrick Rose doesn't make you too nervous anymore.
Yeah, and just like for players around the league, I wonder what they're feeling like players who had the chance, like teams like Toronto. I wonder what players in Toronto were thinking. Like, even if we can somehow beat the Cavs, then we got to go up against that team. They just know they're not going to win the title, and it's got to crush them.
Of course, yeah. Okay, we've gone way over time, as is. There's endless stuff to talk about this signing, but Kevin Durant's a Warrior. Warriors are the favorites. This was the Big Four and more.